Those first 10 reps or so are just getting you there. The real money is happening on rep 11 and 12, and a lot of people don't know that. It's your boy Nick with Hercules Fit, and today's topic is, should you train to failure? We know we don't want to fail, but should you train to failure? And specifically, should you do it each workout? Should you do it for every set? Should you do it for half the sets? Should you do it for none of the sets? Should you train to failure? We're going to get into that today. I thought this would be a good topic to go over because I talk about a lot of these different topics on this channel. So I'm trying to go more in depth with some of my training principles and some of my training methodologies and my training styles. So the short answer, it depends. Like with anything in the fitness channel and Shredded Sports Science, I watch this channel. He talks a lot about the fact that it depends. And I think this is something that a lot of YouTube channels do not talk enough about. They try to pin everybody in a monolith, try to say that everybody is the same, everybody should do the same type of training. And the short answer is that's not the case. Certain people, depending upon your goals, should do certain things, and other people, depending upon their goals, should do other things. But specifically in the bodybuilding context, for your general person, this is what I believe when it comes to failure. When I first started training, I did not train to failure, or if I did train to failure, I only did it with like super heavy ass weight, like 2 and 3 rep maxes or 1 rep maxes, weight that's really not conducive for bodybuilding, more like powerlifting weight, because I thought that was the key to building big muscles. I did not know that you want to lower the weight and increase the reps when you're trying to bodybuild and build muscle. But anyway, so when I first did that, I did that for about a year. I did not make that many gains. So I say that to say that when you first start training, you don't have to train to failure on every single set, but you need to be training at an intensity that's high enough to stimulate muscle growth. What do I mean by that? When you're lifting a weight, say you're doing a set of 12 on the shoulder press, and you get to rep 12 and you can just throw the weight down and be like, oh man, I feel good. If you can say those words after a set of 12, I feel good, that was a breeze, the weight's too fucking light, you're not working hard enough. This is if you're a beginner. I'm not saying you have to train balls to the wall and you get to rep 10 and you're like, man, I can't even do no more. But you do need to train close enough to failure, so I would say within 2 reps of failure. Now, if you're a beginner, you probably don't even know what 2 reps to failure even feels like. I know what that feels like. I could do 2 reps and tell you, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit failure at rep 12, or I'm gonna hit failure at rep 10. But I've been doing this for a while, so it may take you a few months to really get to that level. But if you're a beginner, you want to have, I'd say, no more than 2 reps left in the tank. That's just you're only gonna get to that level of muscular knowledge by going to the gym and just lifting the weights and you know, just getting used to the burn and figuring out, okay, I'm starting to fatigue at rep 8 with 50 pounds, so I need to go down to 40 pounds to get 12 or whatever the case may be. Now, as you get more advanced, you're going to have to train closer to failure or to failure on more sets to get more out of your workout. A lot of people don't grasp this, and this is why they don't grow. They get in a stalemate, as I would say, where they don't grow for a few years. And you look at their training, they're not training to failure. They're doing, way lighter weight than what they can handle. And you guys know I don't promote lifting as heavy ass snap city weight if you can't handle it. Again, if you are a beginner, you're probably going to be lifting really light on a lot of things, and that's fine. That's what you should be doing. But light does not mean easy. So you need to be lifting a weight that is close to failure. So say you're doing, 9 sets for your certain muscle group. Out of those 9 sets, I would say at least a third of those sets should be going to failure. Even if you're a beginner, a third of those sets, you should be going to failure. Now, if you are advanced, I would say out of those 9 sets, at least 6 to 7 out of those 9, you should be going to failure. As you get more advanced, it takes more of a threshold for you to build muscle. It's called progressive overload. As the muscle gets stronger, you have to introduce more stimuluses to it for it to grow. So be that going to failure on more sets, adding more weight, which is what I tell people to do a lot. You need to add more weight to the fucking bar. You're not lifting enough weight. Or you need to shorten the rest time. You know, you have to add more volume to get the same amount of thing. So one of the ways to do that is to go to failure on more sets. When I first started lifting, you know, I only went to, you know, if I did go to failure, it was few and far. It wasn't intentionally. It was usually because I was just choosing a weight that was too fucking heavy for me to do. But now when I train, I purposely choose a weight that I can go to failure after a certain amount of reps. So you guys know I train in pairs of 3. So I do 12 for the first set, 10 for the second, and 8 for the third. I will go to failure on at least 2 of those 3 sets. Usually on my second and third set, I'll go to failure. And I'm actually trying to go to failure. I'm intentionally trying to choose a weight that I fatigue with at these reps. Again, if you're a beginner, it's going to take some getting used to. I'd say typically it's a 10 pound range. So if you can do 12 reps at 40, you'll probably be able to do 8 reps at 50. Or you'll probably be able to do 10 reps at 45. So I tell people to stay in like a 10-pound range. Obviously, that is different for different muscle groups. Bigger muscle groups, it may be a bigger jump. Say you're working your quads, for example. You may be able to do 12 reps with 300 pounds, and then you can do 8 reps with, 340 pounds or whatever. It's because it's a bigger muscle group, so the rep ranges are going to be different for that muscle group. But for your upper body, most muscle groups in your upper body, it's about a 10 to 20 pound range with that 8 to 12 rep scheme that I tell people to do. So basically, the takeaway from this, guys, is if you're a beginner, you don't have to go to failure on everything, but you will get better results the faster you can start going to failure. Now, I say that because if you can go to failure, you can tear more muscle fibers. If you tear more muscle fibers, you can build those muscle fibers back up in the subsequent days with proper nutrition and rest and diet. And the muscle gets stronger, it gets bigger. If you don't go to failure, your muscle can still get stronger, but you're essentially, it would be like running a 100-meter dash and stopping at 75 meters. And you're training to be running the 100-meter dash. You're still going to get better, at running the 100-meter dash. But when race day comes, the people that ran the full fucking distance are probably going to smoke you because they were running the full fucking distance. It's the same thing with training to failure, guys. If you're stopping 2 and 3 and 4 reps short of failure, that is 2 and 3, 4 more reps of growth that you could have experienced that you're not going to experience because you stopped short. Now, you can still experience some growth, but you're going to have more growth if you can go to failure on more of your sets. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. If you're a beginner, you can get away with not going to failure and still build muscle. But I promise you, after a year or two, if you ain't going to failure on shit, you're not going to be making no gains. I can tell you that right now. You're not going to make no fucking gains if you're still, unless you're on fucking steroids or some shit. If you're natural and you're still leaving 3 and 4 or 5 reps in the tank after a year of lifting, you're really going to limit your ability to build muscle because most of the muscle is built in those last reps. A lot of people don't know that the majority of the muscle is built in those last reps. Those first, say you're doing 12 reps, those first 10 reps or so are just getting you there. The real money is happening on rep 11 and 12. And a lot of people don't know that. So that's why I tell people you need to start going to failure more often because it's those failing reps that are building the most muscle. It's not those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's doing something. But it's really just fatiguing your body and getting your muscles to tear on those last 2 reps, which is what subsequently is going to give you the most growth. So, guys, I hope you learned something for this video about failure. I hope you start training to failure if you aren't already. And if you are an advanced person, you're going through a plateau, start training to failure on more of your sets and see what it does for you. Obviously, you need to make sure you're getting the right nutrition. So watch some of my other videos to know what kind of stuff to eat, how much protein, if you take creatine, whatever. And also make sure that you're doing the right kind of workouts. So watch some of my workouts to make sure you're doing the right kind of workouts as well. If you do that, you'll be on your way to Gain City, baby. Guaranteed. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Comment below the topics we want me to talk about. Email me at workbeforeyouwish@gmail.com for coaching. I'll get you right every time. It's your boy Nick, your boy Hercules, signing out.